Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and today we are going to do my Game Week 2 team selection video as well as looking at our Game Week 1 scores and trying to see where we're going to go from wherever we are right now. Guys, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. We'll talk about everything in a second, but I just do want to say that these videos are not intended as advice necessarily. I'm just showing you what I'm doing with my team. The other videos are more like advicey. This one is just showing you what I'm doing with my team. So if you just take this content as you will, but if you do enjoy it and you're enjoying following along in my journey throughout this FPL season, please do leave a like. Really helps out the channel, and do subscribe as well if you're new around here. But guys, let's have a look first of all at our scores from Game Week 1. Okay, a total score in Game Week 1 of 56. I'm not going to lie to you, that is not great. It's actually 1 point below average, which puts me pretty much bang in the middle of the park in terms of all players in FPL at a rank of 4.3 million. Is it the rank I hoped for in Game Week 1? Absolutely not. But I do think that it does present a different kind of challenge. I'm kind of looking forward in a way to seeing if I can, go up the ranks rather than, just starting well. Because last season I started quite well. But even last season, it took me 8 game weeks to get into the top 1,000 players. So definitely not expecting instant results. And I think nobody really expects instant results necessarily. It's about several game weeks. And this team, yes, it didn't perform in Game Week 1 as well as I'd hoped it would. But I didn't build this team for one game week. I built it for several game weeks. And you do have to trust the process. And if you get to sort of Game Week 4, Game Week 5, and things still are really not going the way you wanted them to, then perhaps you can look back and say the team selection was bad. But I don't look at any of these players and think they are bad selections. I'm quite happy with Raya. I know he conceded a couple of goals, but he made plenty of saves as well, which is what I was after. I was looking for saves, I was looking for bonus points, and then when we get to the easier fixtures for Raya, then surely he's going to get a couple of clean sheets as well. Trent and Robertson, they're not going to score 1 points every game week. We know that. An absolute freak there. Cancelo and James returning, Salah returning, Saka got the assist obviously on the own goal. Neto and Bailey is kind of interesting. I think Neto actually did look really good in that game. He did have a couple of opportunities to score himself and he was creating chances. I think he was one of Wolves' better players in that game and a more attacking Wolves team as well. So still very excited about Neto, still have the confidence in him. Bailey, maybe not so much. Aston Villa just looked poor in general, but I have to say, Bailey did play the whole 90 minutes and he did look like one of Aston Villa's better players, if you can say any of their players look better, to be honest. Jesus, unlucky not to get any returns, so again, a low score, but it's not something that's worrying. And Harry Kane, for Spurs to score 4 goals and Harry Kane to get no return, that is something that happens once, very rarely. This hasn't happened in years where, Harry Kane hasn't got a return in a score this big. So it's a real freak, and it's just one of those things. Now, I think we just need to be careful to not suddenly think that some of these players are suddenly bad players, just because they scored low scores in 1 game week. It's just one of those things. You kind of got to trust the process. You kind of got to look at it over a period of game weeks rather than just 1 game weeks, because the season, guys, has only just begun. So, am I disappointed in my score? Yes, a little bit, but am I excited about the future, and am I grateful for FPL to be back? Absolutely, and I'm really kind of looking forward to this challenge of seeing what we can do from here and seeing, start to set some targets. Can we get into the top 1 million by game week 3 or 4, for example, and then go on from there, push to the top 100k, then push to top 10,000. It's exciting, guys. Let's see how we're going to do that going into game week 2. Okay, so 1 free transfer. We are going to start off in goal. We have got Raya in goal still. I'm not going to worry about the rotating him with Ward. That was never the intention. Ward is obviously the best 4 million goalkeeper, but in terms of, who do I actually prefer as a goalkeeper? Raya against Manchester United looks pretty good. We saw what Sanchez did against Manchester United, making plenty of saves and picking up bonus points as well, despite conceding. So, yeah, I think Raya can do the same. I think Man United may struggle a little bit against Brentford. Obviously, Brentford at home this time as well, so it could be pretty good. And Raya, I just think he's a really good goalkeeper, so looking forward to seeing what he can do for me. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold in defence here. Crystal Palace at home. It's on paper a harder fixture than that Fulham game, but, Liverpool just weren't themselves in that Fulham game, were they, at all? And I do like the look of this Crystal Palace fixture. I don't think Crystal Palace are usually too good for goals. I think Crystal Palace are quite a difficult team to break down, but playing them at home, for Liverpool to play at home against a team that doesn't score many goals, I think Trent is going to be very good for this game week, and I think he's going to start reproducing. So those of you guys who are selling your Liverpool defenders, I would just say calm it down a little bit. You know, one game week of disappointment does not mean long-term badness, I suppose. Trent is still going to be one of the highest scoring players in the entirety of FPL by the end of the season. We just know that. And he's probably going to start picking up points starting from now against Crystal Palace at home. Come on, let's reward the faith. Let's reward the faith that we're showing in these excellent Liverpool FPL assets. We've doubled up, of course, with Robertson. Same kind of situation, a good fixture. I do really think that these guys are going to just get some goal contributions. I really think they can get a clean sheet in this game as well. It's probably like, probably a 50-60% chance Liverpool keep a clean sheet in this game. And then after that, we are going to be expecting some attacking returns from our fullbacks as well. So, yeah, let's see what can happen. I like the idea of if Diaz is playing, then that often gives Robertson a lot of opportunities to get in some really dangerous areas, cut inside, get close to the goal, maybe take some shots. I really think that Robertson could be a bit of a gem, really. Not a hidden gem because people know what he's all about, but he's only 12% owned, so he is a little bit of a differential in this FPL team, despite the fact that he is a phenomenal FPL asset. So got very, very high hopes for Robertson. I think he could be one of the men to turn this around for me. Cancelo, not so much. Everyone has him. Yeah, Bournemouth at home, obviously a phenomenal fixture. We're really looking forward to that. And although Bournemouth did look pretty resilient in game week 1, I think that was a lot to do with just how bad Aston Villa looked. And I think Manchester City are Manchester City, right? Still no replacements in terms of fullbacks at Manchester City at time of recording. I don't know if they sort that out soon, which means Cancelo's still going to be playing as a left back, but really it's an inverted left back. He's pretty much playing as a central midfielder. That's kind of the position he's occupying. He didn't create too much, unfortunately, in game week 1, but he did take a shot on. Didn't go anywhere near. Was a pretty low XG chance, to be fair, but he's still, you can tell that he's going to be taking some shots. He's going to create a little bit more, perhaps a little bit more in that Bournemouth game. And I think he's going to do really well for, bonus points because he's going to be making a lot of passes. Bournemouth are just going to sit back in this game, and it's going to give opportunities for players playing around the midfield positions like Cancelo to just ping passes around, try and wear Bournemouth down a little bit, and pick up those bonus points even if there's no goals or assists for Cancelo. So fingers crossed we'll get some decent points from Cancelo once again, because last game week we got bonus points despite a yellow card, so who knows what could happen next. Reece James is going to finish off the defence. I'm not expecting too much from him in this game against Spurs. I think Spurs will score against Chelsea. I actually was kind of disappointed with the way Chelsea defended in game week 1. I thought they conceded quite a few chances, and Everton, a better team than Everton, could potentially damage them, I think. So, yeah, they're still just kind of not quite there. I think Chelsea will take a couple of game weeks to kind of get into the swing of things. This is not an easy fixture for James, but what I do like about James is his ability to get attacking returns as well. So him getting up the pitch, taking the odd shot, creating a little bit as well if he's playing in that right wing back position, which we expect him to do, then you've got those chances for attacking returns. And when a defender gets an attacking returns, that often spells a lot of points. So a clean sheet I'm not particularly hopeful for, but attacking returns from Reece James is always on the card. So I'm going to stick with him, and you never know, you could get a clean sheet. Stranger things have happened, but more importantly, the future fixtures for Chelsea, as Chelsea do start to get ready and properly involved in the season and kind of more of a full strength kind of situation. The fixtures after that are just looking phenomenal. So James isn't going anywhere from my FPL team, that's for sure. We've got Mo Salah in midfield, Crystal Palace at home. Salah with an absolutely phenomenal record against Crystal Palace, so that's really, really exciting. And it's a home game as well, and you know what they say, when Salah plays at home, just captain him. Don't even think about anything else. So yeah, obviously Salah is going to be in the kind of discussions of captaincy. It's a good fixture for him as an individual. I think the initial fixture, the loss from Crystal Palace in game week 1 may be a little bit of a setback, particularly as that was a home game for them. Now we've got an away game that Crystal Palace are going to be playing. So I just think Salah could do pretty well here. And you know what? He doesn't even need to play well to get FPL points. And that's kind of the beauty of Salah, isn't it? He just kind of produces FPL points. He's a FPL points machine. Extra point for a goal, clean sheet points as well. I really like him. And I like him a lot for this fixture. So yeah, fingers crossed. Another goal and an assist in this game, you would absolutely take that. You'd be laughing, wouldn't you? That would be really nice from Salah. And then after that, we have got some nice fixtures. Manchester United and Bournemouth, looking forward to those ones. But for now, Crystal Palace, one of Salah's favourites, hunting grounds, I suppose. Let's see what he can do. We've got Saka, who is a little bit of a differential on Martinelli. Now is where the good attacking fixtures really begin, I believe, for Arsenal. I think going forward, all of these fixtures that Arsenal have, do have, you know, the capability to concede goals. And I think Saka is going to be super nailed on. We know now that, you know, there was rumours he was going to be playing as a wing-back. It's just not the case at all, really. You know, Arsenal's formation is naturally lopsided, but Saka is very much a right winger. And, yeah, super nailed on. Star player, possibly on penalties. We're not exactly 100% sure, but we're pretty confident Saka is going to remain on penalties as well. It's all looking really good for Saka, and the assist for that first game is going to give him a little bit of confidence, and we know what he can produce. He was one of last season's top scoring FPL assets, and if Arsenal are going to do really well in these good fixtures and kind of produce what we're kind of hoping from them, which is, you know, a really, really good start. I'm really hoping for a good start. I'm really feeling confident in the Arsenal project right now, and I think Saka is just going to be a crucial part of that alongside Gabby Jesus. We've got Neto next, who plays at Fulham at home. Potentially Neto's last chance. I know he played really well in the first game, but at the end of the day, we need FPL points. You know, just doing some skill moves and taking some shots is only so good as long as you get an FPL point. So, look, it's a game against Fulham at home. That is a good fixture. It really is a good fixture. Like, there's no doubt about that. I do think Fulham will probably score against Wolves, to be honest, which is why I'm considering one of my bench options in the starting 11. But yeah, no, Neto, I think, yeah, let's give him this game, and then I think we'll potentially think about finding some replacements, depending on how promising he looks. He looked promising in the first game, don't get me wrong, but let's see if he looks promising again, or if he gets FPL points, and that can make us kind of decide if we keep him in kind of game week 3, 4, where the fixtures are a little bit tougher. But to be fair, Wolves' fixtures after game week 4 are pretty nice as well, so I don't think there's any rush to take him out. I liked what I saw so far. Let's actually get some FPL points. Let's get a goal, Neto. That's what we're all after here, guys. A goal. We're going to finish off the midfield with Bailey against Everton at home. Last chance for Bailey, potentially. I don't know. Aston Villa were just so disappointing, and I'm kind of worried that when we get to Crystal Palace, West Ham and Arsenal, fixtures that are actually kind of tough, then we may see a kind of lackluster Aston Villa start to fall behind a little bit. So not really confident about that one, if I'm completely honest. But look, he's clearly a good player. He's clearly a player who is quite crucial to the way Aston Villa want to set up. If we think he's going to start, or if we've got good indication that he's going to start, I think we do start him against Everton at home. It is a good fixture, although, again, Everton defensively, I don't know. I feel like they did okay. I feel like they did okay, but yeah, maybe Bournemouth were just better than we all gave them credit for, and maybe Bailey will do very well against Everton. But that is one of the question marks in my team, whether I play Bailey or resort to one of my bench options, which I do have, in fairness. Up front, we've got Harry Kane as things stand. He's got Chelsea away. Like I said, you look, I would not be totally surprised if Kane scored against Chelsea. I don't think he did badly against Southampton, and on another day, he perhaps gets a haul in that game. So let's see. Like, I'm not gonna be one of those people who suddenly thinks Kane is a terrible FPL player. Obviously, would we prefer certain other strikers in our FPL teams? Yeah, probably. But look, let's not write off Kane completely. I just wanted to say that. And the fixtures after look really good. I think Wolves look bad defensively. Nottingham Forest, West Ham. Yeah, I think there are points up for grabs, to be fair, from Harry Kane in the next fixtures. It's just about, can we find someone else who can score more points? And I think that's the big question, really, isn't it? And then we're going to finish off the attack with Jesus. Again, really nice fixture. Leicester, I expect to concede goals. Like, I don't think Leicester are in too good of a place. I still think Leicester can score goals themselves. So I'm not completely convinced by a clean sheet for Arsenal, but I would imagine that Arsenal could go and score 2-3 goals, maybe even more. And if so, it's going to be all about Jesus. It's all going to be about Saka. Jesus registered a couple of really, really good attacking opportunities where he could have scored, where he could have assisted, that won't show up in statistics because of last-ditch tackles. But Jesus looked really good in the opening game, and I think he can produce in this really nice run of fixtures. I'm surprised he didn't score or get something out of game week 1. So the confidence in Jesus is still sky high. I think he's going to prove to be an absolute bargain at 8 million. Let's go on to the bench, guys. We've got Ward, Arsenal away. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Not going to play him. Andreas against Wolves. Now, this one I am kind of interested in. I was really impressed by Andreas, how far up the pitch he was playing, how he was on all set pieces. it looked really, really good, and I think he is going to make a mockery of that 4.5 million price tag. I really do. I think he's going to do so well, and I think we're going to have to get to a point where we're starting him, or at least thinking about starting him. Wolves, on the other hand, conceded 2 goals to Leeds. They're now setting up with a back 4. They look a little bit less defensively rigid. To be fair, last season, Wolves, in total, Wolves probably, you probably wouldn't call them a strong defence as they once had been, particularly in the second half of the season. Wolves' defence does seem to be going downhill. It's just a case of whether they change it up. Do they go back to a 5 at the back or something like that? But Fulham, looked good in attack. Andreas playing really high up the pitch in the really attacking areas and on all set pieces. We do have to consider him. We actually do have to consider playing him. So I'm not going to tell you for 100%, but there is a good chance I end up deciding to play Andreas ahead of Bailey. There really is a good chance of me doing that. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. And I think just the fact by playing him will be a little bit of a differential. I know everyone owns Andreas. He's on everyone's bench. But playing him could be a little bit of a differential. It could be kind of interesting. Patterson, I'm still very happy I chose him over Nico Williams. I think he is going to be, I think he could go up in price. I think Nico Williams could go down in price, to be honest, within the next couple of weeks, just because people are fickle. But yeah, no, Patterson, as long as he can keep his place, and I really hope he can keep his place, particularly if Everton were to play a back 5, I feel like Patterson is slightly more suitable to that right wing back position more than Coleman when Coleman does return to the team, if Coleman does return to the team. So yeah, look, there's consideration to play him against Aston Villa, to be honest, but I think we stick with our main players and keep a close eye on these bench players that we've picked because of their potential. Archer, for example, got some minutes against in the opening game week against Bournemouth, but probably not expecting too many minutes against Everton, but you never know. We could see him gradually bed into the team. So keeping a firm eye on these bench options, but I don't think I'm quite ready to start them yet. Captain's armband is going to be on Salah, by the way. Vice captain, we're going to put on Cancelo for the second, but we come down to a situation about transfers, and are we going to make any transfers this game week? Now, let me just be completely brutally honest with you guys. I did not make the Kane to Haaland switch on Sunday. I went to bed at 9 p.m. I had a very early night. It's been an exhausting week, and I just wanted to go to bed early. I didn't see a price change coming. This is completely on me. This is completely my mistake, and I have to hold my hands up and say I should have kept an eye on this price change. If there was 1% chance of me making this transfer move, I should have kept a very close eye on this price change that I just did not see coming. I wasn't checking social media or anything like that. I wasn't checking price change websites. That's completely on me. And now I'm in a situation where if I want to switch Kane to Haaland, I would have to take a -4 because I don't have any money in the bank. If I had the opportunity, in hindsight, at the time, I wasn't really convinced if I was going to make the transfer or not. But in hindsight, I really should have made that transfer. I kind of wish I did switch Kane to Haaland. If you guys have money in your bank, then I would definitely recommend switching Kane to Haaland and just doing it and, just cutting your loss. For me, it's a little bit different because I have to take a -4. I'd have to weaken other areas in my team. And I would have to basically make 2 transfers, which I have to consider to be an 8-point loss at this point. So that is completely on me. I have to own up to that mistake, and I have to kind of decide, is Haaland going to outscore Kane by 8 or more points over a period of time? First of all, would I captain Haaland? Probably not. I still kind of think I prefer Salah against Crystal Palace. Do I think Haaland is going to outscore Kane by 4 points this game week? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. After that, I'm not so sure. I think we can see a bit of rotation. I think the following 2 games after that, game week 3 and 4, I think Kane I would prefer to Haaland. Would I be happy to flip-flop, switch back and forth? Definitely not. If I'm taking a -4 to make this transfer, it will be permanent. So I'm in a situation where I have a decision to make. Do I just suck it up and take the -4 in game week 2? It's not something I really want to do, to be honest. It was never part of the plan. Or do I just stick with the game plan and say, look, this is the team I set up with. This is the team I wanted to start the season with for the first 4 game weeks. I didn't plan on making this move. Do I still believe that Kane is a better option over the next 4 game weeks than Haaland? That's the decision I need to make. Am I scared of the ownership of Haaland? Definitely. But, maybe I keep Kane. I'm not sure yet. I don't want to make any promises on that one. Right now, my head is saying keep Kane. Just stick with the plan. You had a plan. You picked the players that you were confident in at the beginning of the season. Just stick with it. Unless something really, really big comes out. It's been 1 game week. Is it too early? Haaland's opportunities to score goals. One was a penalty. You know, that's not going to happen every week. And on another game week, even this game week, Kane could be the one with a penalty. The other goal, you know, it was a counter-attack. Are Bournemouth going to allow Man City to counter-attack? I don't know. Probably not, judging by their first game week. But at the same time, a fabulous striker who's not going to need many touches to get a lot of goals. Would I prefer Haaland for game week 2? Absolutely, 100%. Over the next few game weeks, would I prefer Haaland? Probably, yeah, just about. But if you include the -4 or the -8, depending on how you look at transfers, to do that, then suddenly, I don't think it looks so cut and dry. I don't think it's as obvious. So I have a decision to make. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it. Let's see, I suppose. Well, but guys, I'll try and keep you in the loop of what I'm kind of thinking in the streams at the weekend. So make sure you stay tuned for those. Okay guys, so as a little addition to these videos, I thought we would have a look at my predicted points for next game week according to the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool. You can go check that out using the link in the description. I'm of course using the premium version, but you can have a look at the free version as well if you use the link in the description. And yeah, they're still doing 50% off, by the way, if you do want to unlock the premium tools, all of the many premium tools that Fantasy Football Hub offer. I think they're absolutely amazing. But my game week 2 team is predicted to score 63.6 points, which I think is reasonably good. You know, I probably would have taken that last game week, and on paper this is probably a slightly more difficult game week, but look, there's some good potential points coming here. Highlights being Cancelo, who's expected to score 6.4 points. Salah was 6.3 points. You know, we've got Trent here, 6.1 points predicted. It looks pretty good. And going onto the bench, we actually got Andreas with 3.3 predicted points, which is not bad. It's not too bad. Disappointed that kind of Kane is predicted to score so low. Same with Raya, but I think they could make a mockery. It's not going to take much, you know, a Kane penalty or something like that, or Chelsea slipping up in defence, or, you know, Raya, for example, making a load of saves, which I think is very possible in a game like this against Manchester United. So these are my predicted points. I'd be kind of interested to see what your predicted points are. Fantasy Football Hub is still giving my team a rating of 95%, which is pretty good. Anything above kind of 90-95% is very good. A game week rating of 84, so it's not quite optimal for this game week, but you can't get a completely optimal like team for every game week. But I think it's looking pretty good. Cancelo though is the most interesting thing I think about this. Cancelo predicted to score 6.4 points, slightly more than Salah. So should I actually be captaining Cancelo if I stick with this team? I don't know. There's certainly some food for thought there. And there we go, guys. That is the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy what you saw today. If you did, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe. Any support is massively appreciated. And we need to get out of this hole. It's not quite a hole in FPL terms, but we've got a long ways to go. We've got lots of game weeks left. We're going to push. We're going to see what we can do. I'm still feeling pretty confident. I still love most of my team. Do I wish I had Haaland in my team? Yeah, of course. But it's just one of those things. It's about how I deal with that from here. Treat every game week as the new start of the season in a way, and look forward to the next game weeks and trying to work out what's going to be best for you. What's best for me? Let's see, I suppose. Guys, don't forget to check out Fantasy Football Hub. Link in the description. You can still get 50% off your membership. I think that deal is only lasting for another week now. So if you are looking to get the big discount, make sure you move fast. I do think that the tools like that they offer are absolutely crucial when you're trying to really compete in the higher levels of fantasy football. So yeah, give that a go. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. One more video tomorrow on Friday, then streaming on Saturday. But that's pretty much it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys, once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.